Welcome to Faces of Parkinson's. I'm Robert Cochran, and I'm joined today by Becky Farley. Becky, how are you?
Just great, thank you.
Now, Becky, you're joining us from down in Tucson, Arizona, and the name of your gym, I see it by its initials, but you tell me the name and how you'd introduce yourself.
Right, so the name of our facility is the Parkinson Wellness Recovery Gym, so PWR Gym. And actually, it's also the name of our nonprofit. So that's our organization, which is Parkinson Wellness Recovery.
Excellent. Now, people know by and large, and we're certainly educating them more, about the importance of exercise in Parkinson's, and that's great. That's general. It sounds like you're a little more specific, a little more research-based, technical perhaps. Give me the kind of 20,000-foot view, if you would, of what makes PWR special.
Well, I think that if you really want to slow the disease, it's more than just an approach. You really, one group class in the community or one visit to your physical therapist isn't going to be enough. You really need a comprehensive plan for life. You need someone that's going to manage your exercise prescription. So, because those needs are going to change, it needs to be personalized, and it also needs to implement all the research-based concepts that we know are important for brain change.
You said something I like the phrasing of that, your exercise-based prescription. And I don't think enough people look at exercise as medicine. And, it's that exterior thing. What has been your journey, or what is your continuing journey in getting people to accept that mindset?
Yeah, so everyone throws around the term exercise as medicine, and it's a very difficult thing to do in our healthcare system. It's probably not even possible. It's going to take access to community exercise. It's going to take lifelong access to multidisciplinary rehab and medical resources. And we have to address some of the number one barriers, which are basically inactivity. Like you mentioned, these non-motor symptoms get in the way of people actually participating. People aren't even aware that they need help because of the poor self-awareness in Parkinson's. It's not their fault. It's the disease that's they're not able to monitor their own needs.
Yeah, I'd take that even a step further, and I've had that interesting journey with my dad, and even for myself in understanding myself. I think we, as a society, don't check in very realistically with ourselves often, and we're surprised when someone who does have the expertise comes back and says, by the way, have you been doing this, or have you not been doing this? Because here's something I'm noticing, and it's probably, it's diminishing the quality of your life.
I know, that's interesting, because if it's that hard for you and us to do, think how hard it is for someone who has problems with executive function. So they're not problem solving as well. They're not aware. Plus they have non-motor barriers that interfere, just with wanting to be out, apathy and just anxiety. They lack self-efficacy. I mean, you and I, we want to get better because we believe we can get better. And if you don't believe you can get better, you don't. You
Wow.
don't even pursue it.
That's exactly right. Lack of self-awareness. So that's a very foundational thing. And does the psychological, behavioral component, is that part of what you do at PWR?
It is. So we provide ongoing, every 6 months, people get a physical therapy evaluation by a Parkinson's expert. We help them figure out which is the best class for them to be in, for one, but we also address some of those non-motor and psychological issues in the assessment. And then we have a wellness series. We try to put together materials for them. So local community resources. We actually teach them in our gyms, stress management. So we try to find the resources for them. It's, unfortunately, some of them aren't all free. But we definitely try to do our very best to deal with the ones we can and refer them to people that we know.
Absolutely. Now, this is something people look at from the outside perhaps and say, gosh, PWR sounds pretty cool, but it's in Tucson. Do you have a prescription
Right.
for that? What are you guys up to?
Yeah, so for one, it is a model center. It's a community center. We have 130 people come monthly for classes, 37 classes a week, plus rehab. But what we do as an organization is we train and certify therapists and fitness professionals in how to do what we do. So We also, one thing that's really unique is we teach them to work together so that they form their own local community networks. And many of the power therapists that we've trained are doing some phenomenal type of programs in their own local towns and regions.